was born in Rosario, Argentina, on June 24, 1987. A winter baby in the southern hemisphere, small enough to be wrapped in the arms of a family that would one day protect him against the world. His parents, Jorge and Celia, could not have known that their son, quiet and shy, would one day become a global icon. At that moment, he was simply Leo. Rosario was not Buenos Aires. It was not glamorous, not a capital of power or wealth. It was a working-class city, with factories, modest homes, and tight-knit neighborhoods where football was more than a pastime. It was a lifeline. On dusty streets, children played with balls made of rags or plastic bags. For Leo, it was no different. From the moment he could walk, he chased whatever object resembled a ball. His grandmother, Celia, often said, "This boy doesn't run, he dribbles." Football was in his blood. His father worked in a steel factory and coached a local youth team. His cousins and brothers played. Weekends meant games, laughter, competition. And among all the children running barefoot across gravel and grass, one boy stood out, not because of his size, but in spite of it. From his earliest years, Messi was smaller than everyone else. His growth was slower, his frame fragile. At first, his family thought it was just his nature. Some children are late bloomers. But by the age of 9, it became impossible to ignore. He was nearly 2 heads shorter than teammates. Doctors gave the diagnosis, a growth hormone deficiency. Without treatment, his dream of becoming a professional footballer was nearly impossible. The treatment was expensive, hundreds of dollars a month for injections. His family could not afford it. His father's factory wages and his mother's part-time work were not enough. Yet the Messi refused to give up. They believed in him. His grandmother, Celia, was his biggest champion. She would walk him to training, shouting from the sidelines, "Show them what you can do, Leo." When she passed away, he was only 10. He was devastated, but from that moment on, he pointed to the sky after every goal, a tribute to the woman who saw greatness before anyone else. Leo's talent was undeniable. At Newell's Old Boys, the local club, he scored goals in clusters, dazzling crowds with his speed, control, and vision. They called his youth team La Máquina del 87, the machine of 87, because they destroyed every opponent. And Messi, the smallest of them all, was the engine. But talent was not enough. Without medical support, his condition threatened to stop his growth and his career before it began. Newell's helped at first, paying for part of the treatment. Relatives in Argentina and abroad chipped in. But as costs mounted, hope began to fade. They needed a miracle. That miracle came from Spain. FC Barcelona, a club known for scouting young talent, heard about the boy from Rosario. They invited him for a trial at La Masia, their famed academy. At just 13 years old, Messi and his father travelled across the Atlantic, carrying not just boots and clothes, but the weight of a family's dream. The trial was brief, almost informal. Coaches watched this shy small boy pick up the ball. Within minutes, they knew. His speed, his balance, his ability to glide past defenders as if they weren't there. This was not normal. This was genius. But still, there were doubts. Could Barcelona take responsibility for a child so young? Could they cover the cost of his treatment? The story has become legend. One coach was so convinced of Messi's potential that he wrote the first contract on a paper napkin in a cafe. That napkin changed everything. It meant Barcelona would pay for his treatment. It meant Messi would move to Spain. It meant his second home would be thousands of miles away from Rosario. Leaving was not easy, At 13, he was shy, introverted, and deeply connected to his family. His mother returned to Argentina with his siblings, leaving Leo with his father in Barcelona. Nights were long. He missed home, missed his friends, missed the comfort of Rosario. He cried often, alone in his room. But when he stepped onto the pitch, the sadness vanished. The ball was his language, his comfort, his proof that he belonged. This was the beginning. The boy from Rosario, fragile and uncertain, had taken the first step on a journey that would inspire millions. His story did not begin with trophies or stadiums. It began with struggle, sacrifice, and love. It began with a family that refused to give up, with a grandmother's voice echoing from the past. "Show them what you can do, Leo." And from the very start he did.